Good morning. It's Catherine. Orientation is locked. I did something wrong today and now my live stream is not horizontal, it's vertical. Yuck. Okay, that's not the way we like to view things on YouTube. This is not Instagram, but I don't know what I did wrong. If anyone knows how to unlock an orientation in the phone, let me know. I think there's a way to do it. Let me see. I think I hit, let me see if that worked. Nope, orientation is still locked. I keep trying to turn it back to landscape. But I don't know, I guess it's not gonna work today. So we're gonna have to suffer through this, doing it this style. Okay, good morning everyone. Rodrigo's asking, when are you gonna be in the next Starman one? You know, in all the years I've worked there, they've never, well, no, let me take that back. I don't wanna say never, but they've never let me know. When I first started working there, 5 years ago, I think that, ouch, ooh, pinched my finger. The first one I think I ever did, they let me know when it was out or when it was coming out, but nowadays, that whole operation, they don't have time to let you know when a video's coming out, so usually you guys are the ones that tell me. You'll usually send me a message saying, hey, I saw your... but I'm not sure if it's working. Hi. Okay, so who let you in here? See this little guy? See that little guy? I keep trying to like take him out of here during the live streams, but little Elijah keeps coming in and putting him back in here. Yeah, I froze because I was trying to fix the orientation of the phone. But alas, it did not work. Okay, so thank you all for being here today. Mike, Marianne, Anandit, Nana, Nicola, Kyle's here, Cam's Trains, Raj, is it Rajasi? Rajasi? Derek's here, Ebony, Sayarvin, am I saying your name right? Devanshu's here. I think, did I already say Rodrigo? WeTube Gaming, welcome everyone. What do you want to ask me about today? I do have a topic, I usually do, but I'm also going to answer some questions. So put your questions in the chat. Yeah, let's see, Leslie's here. Hi Leslie. I'm doing well. Pray for me because I feel a little tickle in my throat, and that usually happens right before I get sick, so I'm not confessing or claiming that. I am healed and healthy, so that little bit of stuff I have going on, I'm going to knock it out today. Is it, how do you say that? Curfy? Josu's here. Hi.
Nuggie! Surprise!
You want to say hi, Eli?
But I want to be Nugget to say
Yeah, Nugget already said hi. You have to stand back a little so they can see you.
hi.
So we're gonna start. Eli starts school on September 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, take Nugget and go.
Hey, Nuggie.
Okay, we're back. All right, questions. People are saying hi to Elijah. No, he'll be in kindergarten. He just turned 5, so he'll be in kindergarten. Okay, so it's pronounced Sharvin. It's pronounced Sharvin. Okay, did I say that correctly? All right, here we go. So what is today's topic? It's about self. It's about selfishness. It's about denying yourself. It's about selfies. How we are so into ourselves these days. Yay, Sharvin, I got it. Awesome. Oh, Brian, you remember being in kindergarten? That's a great memory. I do not remember kindergarten at all. I have some defining moments from grade school that I do remember, though. I had a great title for today's message, and then it just wandered away, so I have to wait for it to wander back in. So, whatever it is. So, do you guys ever feel like you get really caught up in yourself and your needs and your desires, and sometimes it's hard to see past that to see what other people are doing or what other people's needs are? Does that ever happen to you? Okay, well, there's a scripture in 2 Timothy 3, verses 1 through 4, and you tell me if you think this is the times that we're living in. Are these the times we're living in right now? You tell me. But understand this, that in the last days, hard times will come. For people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, hard-hearted, unforgiving, backbiting, without self-control, brutal, hating what is good, treacherous, reckless, conceited, right? That's someone who's totally into themselves. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. What do you guys think? That's what's supposed to happen in the last days. Do you find that people are like that right now? Do you meet people who are lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, arrogant, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unforgiving? They don't have self-control, they're brutal. Brian says there's lots of people like that today. Oh, I'm seeing Derek and Angela just left me a gift. Giving you some love and hearts for that. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate every one of you, and those of you who go out of your way to send me a little gift is always welcome and appreciated. So you think those are the times we're living in, where people are so into themselves? Virtual hugs, yes, Blake. So, Brian, we are doing good. Family is healthy, and that's what's important. So you guys haven't really, it was one person that said that you think that we're in these times. Are these the times that we're living in? Well, are we lovers of self? You know, when you think of the selfie being invented, it was, oh my gosh, years and years before, when the selfie came out, before I even caved into doing that, I was like, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to be one of those people that's constantly, oh my gosh, posing. I was like, that's just so egotistical. I could not. Now I think it's, unfortunately, it's kind of what's expected of people sometimes, especially an actor. You know, when you're in the entertainment industry, people, they want to see what you're doing. They want to see what you're working on. They want to see your outfits and stuff. So, you know, I think a lot of times it comes down to the heart with anything in life. It's not necessarily what we do, but our intent behind it. So you can see somebody do something and be like, oh my gosh, they shouldn't do that, or whatever, but you don't know the heart behind it. So, like when you see somebody do whatever they do, sometimes it's easy to make a judgment, but since you can't peel back the layers and see inside someone's heart and see their intent about why they did something, those are things we can't really make a judgment on. We can't really know ever why someone does what they do or why someone did what they have done. We can only see the actions. We can only see they did this thing. So I can think of a zillion examples of this, but I remember one in particular. I've told you guys about this before. When I decided to go vegan, when I decided that I wanted to fill my life with fruits and vegetables and eat healthy, and have longevity and not get sick and have diseases, I had this friend of mine that was like, she was like, you are being selfish, you are so vain, you are so into yourself. And I was like shocked. She wanted to do an intervention because she was so worried about me because I decided I wasn't going to be eating ice cream anymore and burgers and steaks and all this stuff. She assumed my wanting to eat a healthier lifestyle meant that I was vain and egotistical and I cared so much about my looks. And I was like, no, I just figured out what the purpose was for my life. And I saw research that vegetarians live 10 years longer than meat eaters. And I want to be on this earth healthy enough, have the longevity so that I can fulfill God's purpose and mission on my life and not be taken out early due to diabetes, heart disease, all these things that can be prevented by a healthy diet and lifestyle. But she just assumed it was all this like ego trip, and I'll never forget that it really shocked me because remember that we were driving and she started like yelling at me, telling me I was selfish and egotistical. And the truth is, what people do, it's really about them. The reaction they have. See, a lot of times we're like a mirror. We're like a mirror and people see their reflection. And it was confronting to her because I wasn't going to go to the fondue place with her anymore and take my meat skewers and fry them in oil, or take my bread and be dipping it in cheese. We used to sit around and eat bags of peanut M&Ms, like family-sized bags, and have Haagen-Dazs, Chunky Monkey ice cream. I wasn't going to be her buddy to do those things anymore, and I think that was really confronting for her because she was overweight and she's had weight issues most her life. And so when someone close to her, decided to make this change, it was confronting to her. So I bring that up because some of you guys may be attacked for decisions you make, and people are going to assume that they're doing it for whatever reason, but it may not be for that reason that they think you're doing it. So let me check your guys' comments. CJ's here. Hey, CJ Eats. Lopez is here. Bray Games says, when is the next Jay and Mikey show? I thought they were going to be putting one of those out per week. Now, did you guys go to Darman's YouTube page and see he had a banner and it showed certain projects coming out and it had the dates like Mischief Mikey and Genius Jaden, and it had a bunch of different people. So I'm guessing those are going to be the dates they come out. I've shot at least 3. Okay, so you guys saw the one where Jay broke into a superstore. We've shot Jay and Mikey. I've shot 3 other Mikey ones since then, or at least 2, and then I start another one next week. So we're shooting them, but I don't know when they're coming out. Nicola, no, Giovanna is not a coach. She does not want to do coaching. She's more into speaking, acting, speaking, and writing. Yes. So you can confirm that with her, but no, we've had several conversations about that. That's not something that she wants to do. Nicola Shante has coached people in the past. Yep, she's coached people who want to be actors, and I think she also does healthy lifestyle coaching, diet, exercise, fitness. She's got a lot of specialties. So, how do you guys feel about the selfie generation? Are you do you guys think that you are too into yourselves? Do you do a lot of selfies? Selfies are your actions in life. Do they come across to others maybe as something that's selfish? And I think it's kind of something maybe innate that we're born with, because we're born into this sinful world, right? Since the fall. Yes, Lopez, I agree. Giovanna is amazing. Brittany says, selfies used to be cringe. The selfie thing, I feel, is just a natural thing now. I say cheer people on who want to take selfies of themselves, living in the moment. People gotta worry about themselves. Meaning, and I think what she means is not that we have to worry about ourselves, but that we shouldn't be so focused on what other people are doing. And we should be the example that we want to see. At least I think that's how you mean. So the only problem is, I think, is that when people get so focused on themselves that they themselves become the center of their own universe, where they think the world revolves around them. Kids are like this sometimes. They're like oblivious to other things going on or what their parents have to go through. They just want what they want. They just want that toy right now, and they don't know how long their parents have to work for it or save up for it or what it's going to take to get it. Blake says, do you think you could be a talent agent / acting coach? I have done acting coaching. I have helped my coach run his acting class when he wasn't available. I've coached actors through their auditions and helped them shoot their auditions and things like that. It's not something I've done lately, not in the last year, I think. I'm going to turn this light off in the back. I think it's kind of distracting having the background lit up. Is that better? Is that better? It's not so distracting with that light back there, right? Bray Game says, are you in any movies besides Starman? Yes, I've been in probably close to 100 if you count plays, commercials, TV, film. I've got 2 coming out this year. I've got 2 of my films on Amazon. If you guys are on Amazon, one is a horror movie, not for kids under 18. It's called Cannibal Corpse Killers. It's a zombie movie. And then I have a really sweet friendship movie about an unlikely couple of people becoming friends. And that is called Magic Hour. Those are both on Amazon. So, yeah. So, have you guys heard of Elu? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Elu. I don't know, it's a Jewish word. It's this time of month, so it started August 17th, and that's it precedes like the high holy days, and what the Jewish people do this time of year is it's a time for introspection and repentance. So we're looking into ourselves at this point in life, and we're trying to see, okay, is there something I could do differently? Is there things that I've done wrong that I really shouldn't be doing? And August, this is a good month to prepare for what we call the bridegroom. Nicola, thank you for the gift. Thank you so much. Blake, yes, you would be shocked about the movie I'm in. So this August is a good time of year to like prepare your heart, prepare yourself to be ready. You know, if God came back today, would you guys be ready? Do you feel like you've lived your life the way that you should? Do you feel like there's things you could have done better? Do you feel like maybe there's some things you need to repent for? Maybe you feel like there's people you need to forgive. What is it that you need to do? Josu Elijah Josh says he's going to be a good kid if I notice him. All right, I'm going to ask your mom if you're being a good kid. So, are there things that we need to do? You know, Psalm 139, 23 and 24 says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties." Do you ever feel anxious? This is a good verse for that. Know my anxieties and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of the everlasting. Have you ever made a correlation? I haven't. I'm just thinking about this now. I'm just thinking out loud. Is there a correlation between us doing the wrong things and having anxiety? Do we sometimes have anxiety because we've done the wrong things? Like, oh, I don't want to get caught, right? That's the whole Jay and Mikey show, right? They're always trying not to get caught. They're always stressed out and having anxiety because they're not doing the right things. So, if we live our life in a way that we're proud of, in a way that we feel confident that our parents know about. When I was a teenager, I sometimes did things that I didn't want my parents to know about. That's a cause of anxiety because you have this whole feeling about, I don't want to get caught, right? I don't want to get caught. So if you're not doing things that you're worried about getting caught for, you're not going to have that anxiety, right? So that's something to look at too. In the last days, which it seems like we're living in, if we listen to that description I said earlier, right? People are going to be into themselves, they're going to be arrogant, lovers of money, boastful, this, that. They're going to be into all this stuff, inwardly focused. Those days, these are times where I know for myself, when I was focused on me, that caused a lot of anxiety, caused a lot of depression. A lot of depression comes from being too inwardly focused, too focused on whatever the thing is that's causing you to feel pain. And it's usually things about yourself, things you don't like about yourself, things you wish you had, things you didn't wish you had, but it's all inwardly focused. And the thing that helped me get over my depression when I suffered with depression was turning the focus off myself, turning it on to God, and turning it on to others. Not inward, but outward and upward. Not in that order. Upward and outward. Because it's easy to, when you're focused on self, find out all your inadequacies. To find out all the things that where you feel like, I'm not good enough, I don't measure up, I don't have this, I don't like my body, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough. When you look at yourselves and you try to compare it to this ideal of what you think it should be, that can be depressing for any of us. In the past and the not so distant past, I would sometimes go to the movie theaters, and if I saw a really good movie, I would be crying. And I wasn't crying because the movie was sad. I was crying because I was like, those people are in this awesome movie and they're on the big screen and I could have done that role, but I didn't even get to audition for it. I didn't even get a chance. And you can sink into this self-pity when you see these good things around, and then you turn it and say, why not me? Why didn't I get that chance? Why didn't I get to do that? How come, we have to not focus on the things that make us sad. We have to not focus on the things that hurt us unless we're taking a portion of it and turning that into, okay, I don't like this, I don't want to be like this, but instead of like turning it on ourselves, to hate ourselves, put ourselves down, and be depressed. Using it as fuel, using it as inspiration to go out and do the things that you want to do, that you want to achieve, to using it to become that thing you want to be, not to keep you down, and not looking at it as a way to keep you down and depressed, but almost like saying, like, enough is enough. I'm not going to stand for this anymore. That's not going to be who I am. I'm going to make this success. I'm going to achieve this thing, not because I feel like I'm bad or I don't deserve anything, or because I'm not good enough if I don't have it, because I'm inspired. Using the movies that I wish I was in, or using those type of things to, like, now I'm inspired to, like, find a great project to be in. Now I'm inspired to study more, to become a better actor. Instead of using those things as a way to put ourselves down or hurt ourselves, or, you know what I mean? To feel like I'm just a lowly worm, I deserve to be stepped on and squashed, right? So what are those things for you? What are those things that right now you're currently using as a weapon against yourself? Are there some things that you're using as a way of measuring yourself as not being good enough? Are you looking at guys who have hot girlfriends, and you're a guy and you're like, I don't have a hot girlfriend, and you're down on yourself and you're being mean to yourself? Instead of doing that, what if you said, you know what is a characteristic in me that I can develop where I am the kind of person that a woman would love to date, that I become a great catch? And let me tell you, it's not all about the big muscles and the fancy cars. That may attract people short term, and it may attract the kind of gold digger people that may be hot on the outside for a little bit, but they're not going to be the ideal lifelong partners. So you have to really decide what you want your life to be about. If you are going to focus on yourself, let it be for the personal development that helps you better yourself to withstand the trials and tribulations that are going to come as you go for your goals and you strive to reach those things you want to reach in life. So when I was so self-focused and comparing myself to others, and in depression and anxiety, I wasn't aware so much of the needs of others or how God felt about me. Then the shift came, and I decided to start listening to what God said about me and how much He loved me and how He was telling me, you are worthy. Nicholas says, I compare myself to people academically. Taught to follow and mix with people who are better than me. But the thing is, nobody is better than you, right? Nobody is better than you. We are all our own unique individual people. So embracing who you are, because God made you the way you are for a reason, for a purpose, and for a divine destiny that only you can do. And we step outside our calling, our purpose, and our destiny when we're hating ourselves, when we're down on ourselves for things that we can't even do anything about. And it's no surprise to God where you are now. It's no surprise to God that you've achieved what you've achieved. It's no surprise to God the size of your body. It's no surprise to God the money in your bank account. It's no surprise to God whether you have a degree or don't have a degree. And He knew the end of time before we even knew the beginning of time. So He knows where you're at now. And the fact that you have dreams in your heart means they're achievable, no matter where you are right now. Hiya, I am a Christian. That's my religion. That means I have a relationship with Jesus. I trust Him as my Lord and Savior. And he wants us all to trust him. He wants us to trust that everything is going to work out. He wants us to let go of the reins, to stop trying to steer things, to force them to go in this certain direction that we think they have to go. They don't necessarily have to go in the direction we think we do. We don't know the future. We don't know what's going to be good for us and what isn't going to be good for us. And there's so many things that we think is a bad thing now, something that happened, but God uses that and turns it for good. One of there's a YouTube kind of a businessman preacher that I like. I like to watch his videos. His name is Myron Golden. Now, he is a black man in his early 60s, and he experienced a lot of racism growing up, but he does not blame the white person for that. And he talks about having polio as a kid. To this day, and ever since he was a child, he hasn't been able to use one of his legs, and he walks with a leg brace. He can't walk without it. His leg will just give out on him. He has crutches. But the thing is, he was born 6 years after the polio vaccine was invented. But where he was born, I believe in Florida, they still had segregated hospitals. That means there was white hospitals, and then there was like the other races or the black hospitals. And polio vaccine had been invented, but they didn't allow the hospital he was born at to have that, or it wasn't, the polio vaccine, even though it's been out for 6 years, wasn't available at the black hospital, and he contracted polio. So he talks about this, and he talks about that this seems like a detriment, in school growing up, when the kids picked all the teams to go play. Who are you going to pick for your team? He can't run. He's one of 6 brothers. He has 5 brothers. He was the only one who couldn't run, the only one who couldn't do sports, the only one who had limp his entire life. But he talks about how it was purposeful, and God works everything out for our good, for those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. So not getting picked for the team. And he recognizes now, in this later point in his life, he said, you know what? God had purpose for me to be a deep thinker, because his concepts and his ideas and how he interprets the Bible, it's so, I would encourage you guys to watch him, Myron Golden. He's such a deep thinker because, and he's such a great study of people, because he was always on the sidelines. He wasn't the one in school that got to participate in any of the sports. He just had to sit there and watch. So he became a good study of people. Blake says, I felt discriminated against because of my cerebral palsy. Yeah, and we have things that we are going to be discriminated against, where people are going to, judge us falsely. But is there a way you can see that God is working all those things out for your good? So Myron was saying, you know what? God had to slow my body down in order to speed up my mind. So he may just be, the most, I don't want to say brilliant thinker, because I'm sure his brothers all have decent traits and all those things. But when your body slows down, your mind speeds up. If you're not doing all this stuff with your body, then your mind's got all this time to play. So I guess what I'm saying is, God can turn around and work for good anything that you've been through, any circumstance that you're in. Hi, is it Mez Zabin from Bangladesh? Welcome. So when we make our whole goal to I gotta just get ahead, I gotta, there's all these sayings like, make yourself number one, worry about yourself first, make it all about you, no one else is gonna stick up for you, you gotta stick up for yourself. there are times when that's true. So it's sometimes easy to go, oh yeah, that's true. It's gotta be all about me. I gotta be number one. I gotta look out for me, number one. And there are times when that's appropriate, but if your whole focus in life is self-preservation, like screw everyone else, I'm gonna get mine. I remember reading this is a great book. This is a great book if you guys. Oh, The Trance of Scarcity. Stop holding your breath and start living your life. An instructive and encouraging and delightful book that I believe can wake us from our numbed state where we've forgotten our true nature and fundamental human goodness. It's about people who have scarcity mindsets. And a lot of times people who get mad and get worried that if someone gets something, that means it's taking away from them. That's not how the world works. We have an infinite God with infinite resources. And if you see somebody get something, that doesn't mean there's less of it for you. Well, back to Myron teaches this, people think that there's a pie, and if you get a bigger slice, that means they get less of a slice, right? And he says that's why God had us born in a garden instead of a bakery, right? Adam and Eve were born in a garden and not a bakery, because in a bakery, once you eat something, it's gone. That's that whole scarcity mentality, that not having enough. If you have it, then I don't. But in a garden, here's the beauty of fruit, When you eat fruit, when you spit the seeds out, the seeds fall into the ground and can create more trees. There's a famous saying, I don't remember who said it, but it goes something like this. You can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the apples in a seed. So that seed could sprout a tree that grows so many thousands of apples for years and years to come. We were born in a garden because we're meant to consume life, but also give life. Our consumption should leave the seeds that allow other things to grow. Hamad says, sorry ma'am, I'm not in touch with you. Does that mean you're not understanding what I'm saying? I hope not. I try to give lots of examples and do this in simple terms so that we can apply it to our life. Looks like we have some visitors.
Why is it full like that?
I don't know. The orientation got mixed up. Hi, Timothy.
Today's sponsor is really healthy.
Made good granola bars. Okay. Not really sponsored, but this is a shtick Timmy does. He hasn't done it in a while.
Sponsored.
I wish. No. We just bought those on our own without anyone telling us to. So, did you have something?
This is sponsored.
No, it's not sponsored. Do you have something to say?
I upload 2 new YouTube videos.
So Timmy's starting to upload on his YouTube channel, Timmy's Gaming Zone. Or no, Timmy's Entertainment Zone. Timmy's Entertainment Zone.
And I'm in a policy community posting.
That's okay. They can find it on their own.
Yeah.
So I watched back some of his live stream to see what he did, and then I corrected him on some of his verbiage, and so he made a little apology, a post, but it's okay. They'll see it if they want to. Go to Timmy's Entertainment Zone.
Click on the community post.
And Elijah's got a new YouTube channel. Little Elijah's got Elijah's Fun Zone, right?
Are we posted that on the
Yes, you've got two videos on there now.
I already posted it on my regular.
Yeah, you did. Okay. You guys can skedaddle. Now.
Sponsored by Regular.
So we don't have to be so worried about not getting ours.
Look at this. It's a Lego.
Oh yeah.
Come
You
on,
like
guys,
built
let's
this
go.
Lego. Take the dog with you.
Come on, Nugget.
Oh, congratulations. #1 in world cricket. That's amazing.
Come on.
That's something to be proud of.
Nugget.
Work hard and you're going to have some...
Nugget.
Yes, Elijah did build that. So self-preservation. Should we preserve ourselves? Yes, there's a time.
I'm trying my...
There's a time to do it. if you're on a plane and the plane is about to go down or lose oxygen, yes, we're supposed to put the mask on ourselves first, then our children, because if we pass out, our children may not be able to help us. So there's a time and a place for it, right? But this is a rough draft. I normally don't share rough drafts. I wrote this like 15 years ago. It's called Self-Preservation. There's something I want you to contemplate. Self-preservation is a lonely state. When you aim to gain or keep what you own, you can quickly get knocked off your high throne. You limit how you help because it might cause others to infringe upon your right. Why should you excel in the sharing test? Shaky ground because it means you'll have less. That's that whole trance of scarcity, right? That scarcity mindset. You hold on tightly to what you have earned because you don't want to again be burned. You worked hard to get where you are now. Why help that old lazy bum get a car? He should walk or bike, carpool or take the bus, or go get a job like the rest of us. You don't want to hear their cries. It's a racket. You give only to lower your tax bracket. You say you give, but it's really in vain, just to keep more of your capital gain. There are people that at the end of the year, they're like, oh, all this money's going to go to Uncle Sam, so I'm going to donate it quickly before the end of the year so I don't get taxed on it, and maybe they'll build a hospital wing with my name on it. You know, that kind of giving in vain. You don't believe it'll come back to you. Giving is the last thing that you want to do. But what would happen if you opened your hand? Would you lose all your belongings and your land? Or would you feel good to help those in pain? Self-preservation is vanity, shrouded in shame. So, those were some thoughts going through my mind 15 years ago when I was thinking about everyone. I'm just trying to preserve myself, and it seems like such a noble thing to want to, do what's right and have what's right. So if we're not on the throne, that actually allows for God to be on the throne. When we're not putting ourselves number one, but we're putting God as number one, that allows the right ratio. And then when it comes to who goes first, others or you, that can be a tricky thing, because people who have low self-worth issues, like I used to struggle with, I would always put myself last. People who have narcissistic tendencies would always put themselves first, even if the detriment of others. I would put others first, even to the detriment of myself. And I think this is a very important teaching, and this is in my advanced course, level 2 of the You Are Worthy course, which I'm praying to God will be edited by the end of the year and added to the course. So for those of you who already have the course, I initially was going to do 2 separate courses, the level 1, You Are Worthy, and the level 2, and I was going to have people purchase level 2 separately, but I think I'm going to put it all in. So if you already have level 1, you've already purchased level 1, I'm going to throw in all of level 2, which is another 12 lessons and probably 20 videos, to make it a really robust, full experience, because the first half is really, the part you've gone through is really mindset, right? Getting yourself to see yourself the way God does, so you have the courage and the confidence to start living your dreams instead of sabotaging them. And the second half, level 2, is like, now that I know this, how should I live? How should I be? What should I do? And I have a teaching in there about selfishness, self-worth. How do you know when to put others first or when to put yourself first? And I go deep on a lot of that, and how we should treat ourselves, how we should treat others, how we should allow others to treat us. It's a whole thing. I've got the whole tug of war between the flesh and the spirit, and fighting over the soul, and our inheritance from God. It goes deep in a lot of areas, so I'm excited about that. All right, let me look at some of your comments. I haven't looked at a while. Okay, Via says, did you watch the episode where Aiden Meekus plays a guy with Crohn's disease? Yes, I saw that one. I did see that one. Yeah, Jordan is commenting. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Brian CM says, I have a problem with people again and with the people I work with at the store. I hope you can give me advice. The problem is I get depressed and feel sad at times. What is there something specific going on at work? Is there something that they're doing? Is there something that they're saying that's making you feel sad? It's not, I know it's never fun to get mistreated. Nicola asks, when will you release a 4th Poetic Prescriptions book? That's a good question. You know, I had been working on one that you guys voted on. I put up a poll of the 4 books I had ideas to write, and you guys voted, not unanimously, the one that get the highest votes was the one about depression, which seems like a topic you guys are really talking about today. I was calling it Poetic Prescriptions for Demolishing Depression and Heading Towards Happiness. And I was working on that for the last year, and I thought it was going to be my next one. But I have just been feeling really called to finish my book about Hollywood. It's something that I have been writing on and off for the 20 plus years I have been in Hollywood. It's my first book that is not going to be a Christian book. It's it definitely got some hard to stomach stuff in here in the book, but it's a real life portrayal of some of the not so cool stuff that sometimes happens here. Yes, there's the glitter, the glamour, there's this, but there's a whole seedy, yucky kind of underbelly. And I'm writing about some of the things I've seen, some of the things I've experienced, all in Hollywood and then in this pursuit of being in the movie business. So it's gonna be pretty eye-opening. And I'm happy to announce, as of yesterday, I finished the rough draft. So it's with the editor now. He's going through and helping me. Sometimes if I didn't know like the exact, I'm like, should I say it this way or should I say it that way? And so I sent it to the editor to like circle which way is better to say it. Sometimes I'm like, I like it this way, I like that. So he's going through it for creative style and which direction I should go on some of the stuff where I gave him a choice. And then I'll go back and make the final decisions on, do I want it said that way? And then the next round would be the grammar round, where he fixes the grammar and punctuation and all that stuff. And then once that's done, he's going to format it. So the hope is that I will have my next book, not a poetic prescription book, my very first non-faith-based book, will be ready in October. I'd love to. That's my birthday month, and I kind of had this dream for a long time that I would love to put out a poetry book every October, because kind of as a birthday gift to myself, because I just love poetry and I love telling stories through that medium. So I'm tentatively titling the book Hollywood Snapshots, and that's got the double meaning. So you think of a snapshot like a picture, like a moment in time. And then, but you also can think of it like a snap judgment, like you're just snapping a judgment at someone. So it's a little bit of both, because there's different people, all different people from all walks of life and different types of people that I've met in this 20 years in Hollywood. And I'm writing about each person and each experience and things I've seen, some of the things I've experienced, some of the things I've only heard about. But so it's going to be really interesting and definitely eye-opening for some of you guys that think it's all glitz and glamour out here. It's kind of going to be a rude awakening. So I would say, not that there's a bunch of vulgarity or anything totally crude, but there are some harsh realities in there. And so I would even say if you're under 17, I wouldn't recommend the book for you. All my other books are for all ages, but this one, it's got some harsh stuff in it. Okay. That was a long answer to your question, Nicola. Sorry about that. Okay, let me see what I missed. Will Darman still be around in 2024? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Josu says, I hope to see you in the next 10 years. When I grow up, I want to be an actor. I have a video here on my YouTube channel called How to Start an Acting Career. I would say that would be a good idea to watch it. Blake says, I have a question about your Eternal Youth book. I looked at a sample of it and I saw you actually have a poem in there called Boobies. I do. He's talking about this book. So, this was some of the struggles I had growing up. This is the book I wrote where I really explored the self-hate I had and how God helped me turn my self-hate into self-love. And I do have a poem in here called Boobies because I was a late bloomer and I used to get made fun of all the time by little prepubescent boys about the size of my chest. So, just for you, Blake, I'm going to read Boobies. And you know what? This is a good example of me being so inwardly focused that I could get depressed. This is the selfish thing where I'm like, if I'm so focused on myself and I don't have what the other girls have. Oh my gosh. I had a friend. She developed so early. She had like the opposite problem. She had such a big chest and developed so early, it was actually worse for her because she was getting hit on non-stop. The guys would not leave her alone. People would try to touch her and grab her, and older men were trying to, so we think, oh, it's so horrible for me, and we don't realize other people are going through stuff even more crazy. So, with that, I present Boobies. Why is it some are so obsessed? Goodness, it's just a female breast. Yet I admit I've been a bit concerned when getting dressed. Half-empty cups or no hope chest. I couldn't get a dress to fit. Wide hips and butt would make seams pop if I had bought for size on top. No hourglass, what could I do? So buying separates, all I knew. The tops I got were always smaller, shown by the tag a size or two. Since then, I'm thankful that I grew. In junior high, torment. I'd holler when bullied by pubescent teens. They said I was a pirate's dream. And yes, by now you may have guessed that meant that I've a sunken chest. With cutting jokes, I was replete. In wonder bras, I would invest with extra pads to look my best. They asked, if you did not have feet, would you still need support from shoes? Well, no. Then why wear bras, they booed. Insensitive teens can be so mean, as they called me a carpenter's dream? Flat as a board and easy to nail. So much for healthy self-esteem. This late bloomer no longer screams, but busty gals too soon will rail. Now having small boobs not a drag, 'cause to my knees they'll never sag. That's Boobies. From my book, Poetic Prescriptions for Eternal Youth. If you don't have it and you want a copy, let me give it to you for free. You can download it by going to poeticprescriptions.com/free book. One of you guys can put that in the chat if you would like to. poeticprescriptions.com/free book. All right. Let's see. Oh, Brittany, is the smelly breaths guy story you had to peck on the lips going to be in the book too? That one is not. I was just thinking, I have so many stinking Hollywood stories. I actually had the Hollywood Snapshots book, and then I have like another one that I have. So far, the Hollywood Snapshots got 40 poems. This one only has 20. This one has 33. So 40, that's quite a lot. This one is my biggest. This one has 77. I think that's too many for a book. My manager said that's too many. She's like, you're giving away the farm. You should have done like 3 books on that. I have so many stories, Brittany. That smelly breath guy is not in there. There was another, oh my, I can't even tell you the number of run-ins I've had in Hollywood with awful things. This is just going to be a small sampling of things I've seen and had to endure. Gosh, I can think of so many other stories. But then it would take me another 10 years to write all of them. And I'm like, I just need to put something. I just need to put this out. So I had another book I was working on called Hollywood versus God. And that, I don't know if I'll ever publish that, but right now I have 56 poems in that folder. And that's kind of like my walk as a believer in Hollywood and things I've come up against, because Hollywood is not the greatest place for a person of faith. They don't really embrace you if you're a person of faith. Yeah, I'll just say that. So to get out of anxieties, to get out of depression, we're talking about dethroning yourself, not making yourself the central focus of your life, but making your life a God-focused one. So do you guys think that would be something that would be helpful to you? What would that mean for you? If all the things you are worried about or insecure about or felt bad about yourself, if you started to not focus on those things, but instead focused on your relationship with God, focused on your friends, your family, others around you, and just living life and trying to go for your goals and do the best you can, and not think that something about you is the reason you don't have what you have. Because a lot of times, the things that I would blame myself for, the things I would say, well, I don't have this career because of this. There was a time in my life where I blamed my son Timothy. There's a time in my life where I blamed not being smart enough. There's a time in my life where I blamed, not being thin enough, not being young enough, all these things that are outward and superficial, 99% of the time are not the reason you don't have your goals, are not the reason you don't have what you want, are not the reason you don't have the girlfriend, the husband, the great job. A lot of times it has to do with how you see yourself, right? We talk about that in the You Are Worthy book and the You Are Worthy course a lot. I talk about if you change your outlook, then you won't have to change your outward looks. It's nothing about you outwardly that's stopping you from achieving the goals you have in life. It's all about your perspective. It's all about how you see yourself. And that's why, I've kind of made it my mission to show people how to see yourself the way God sees you. Because when you start seeing yourself the way God sees you, it's game over, devil. Game over, depression. Game over, anxiety. All of that goes by the wayside when you start to see yourself the way God sees you. Because all of the excuses become null and void.
It's 9 right now. It's almost 9.
Okay. It just becomes
I'll say whoever still wants to say hi.
not important.
Wait, I'm not important?
No, worrying about yourself. Thinking that you're not achieving your ninja dreams because you're a Lego is...
Lego and ninjas are fun. Combinations are fun.
So I'm just saying that we need to die to ourselves. We need to let go of thinking that something about the way we are is stopping us. Because nothing about the way you are is actually stopping you from achieving your dreams. Nothing. So, Brittany says, I don't think Hollywood can handle me. I would call them out on their shenanigans. Yeah. There's a lot young actresses have to endure, a lot we put up with that we think, man, if I told everything, that book would be so dang long. I'm just thinking of all these casting situations I've been in. Oh, not good. Nicholas says, is that true? You will write a book called You Are Loved. I have a course and a book I was working on called You Are Loved. But I'm thinking about changing the title to You Are Worthy of Being Loved, or You Are Worthy of Love. What do you like better? Maybe I should put the different titles on like an Instagram poll and have you guys vote. I'm thinking You Are Worthy to Be Loved, or You Are Worthy of Being Loved, or something like that, rather than just You Are Loved. Might be a better direction to head, to keep on the worthiness train, to keep the momentum going, the You Are Worthy movement going. Nicholas says, you are worthy and loved no matter what. Yeah, it's true. So I hope that was a blessing to you guys. I hope that was helpful to you guys. I so thank you for joining me and for sticking around and for the kids interrupting and all that. Just life, just sometimes you got to roll with it, right? And same with anything we go through. Interruptions are going to happen. We're going to have our days set. We're going to have our plans, and something's going to come and interrupt it. Something that is going to happen in our lives, and we're going to think, that's it, forget, my dreams are over, this throws me off, it's never going to happen again. But God can turn it around and use all things for good. So, all right, guys, live true, love hard, shine bright.